Assalamu alaikum. Welcome and hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. What the hell am I doing? But forgive me for being a bit excited today, a bit overexcited today. We've been excited for the last 3-4 days, but welcome back. We were live around 6 o'clock. We're live again. We're giving you the content and we're giving you signings. Florian, Sarib, resign, have a break, resign. But Sarib is back. And why not? Because we have to have we have to give everyone the opportunity to enjoy the summer, enjoy the big summer, enjoy the big signings, enjoy the big news, enjoy the big bombers. But a big welcome to you, Sarid, for the like 10 million time. Welcome back. Like this is like how many times have you re-signed for us? But
It's a problem.
I've lost out.
It's a really toxic relationship, isn't it? One day, yeah, we're all good. Next day, I thought I left my ex behind, but apparently he's still there.
Oh, okay.
It's nice to be back, and obviously, I watched the streams, and I had a lot of messages as well. Where you gone? We want you back on BNR. We miss your Arsenal nonsense. We miss you on BNR. Come back, come back, come back. And obviously, my lips have been sealed. The decision is not in my hands. But Mr. Asim must have reached out to me. I said, "At your service, sir." And here I
am. Smash a like. There's already 344 people in here. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and all that good stuff. And is back. She might give me another player. I even haven't YouTubed, so you know that player that you were telling me about, and I did take a picture of it. I'm not gonna lie, but I forgot to check the player out. Something Pereldo, I think it was. But we don't want to talk about youngsters today. We want to talk about, well, he's a youngster, but he's a world-class youngster, Sarib. And the story moved today. Florian Friday in the morning, people were messaging me, Juma Mubarak, Asim, but what is the latest? It's been really quiet. And I just said, look, it's one of the biggest transfers that we will ever get involved. Whether we get it over the line, we don't know yet, Sarib. But these things don't happen overnight. And patience was the key. Liverpool had to move at the right time, and they wanted assurances from the player. And they probably, Wirtz's camp had to respect the fact that Bayern Munich were chasing him. They have planning meetings and all that sort of stuff. But the big moment, the decisive moment came today, Sarib, where he picked up the phone, or however he actually communicated his feelings to Bayern Munich. And he told them that his wish is to put on the red kit for Liverpool Football Club. Liverpool have surged in front ahead of Bayern Munich for the signature of one of the best players in the world. And Liverpool's fans have gone into an absolute frenzy. And why not? But your initial thoughts over the past 3-4 days of the whole transfer saga, and how you're feeling today?
Look, I think explaining this is a bit tricky, because obviously this is kind of really the first time that we've really been in a transfer battle with a giant of a club and actually kind of won. You know, how many times across the years, Asim, have we had Zubamendi, Caicedo, Jude Bellingham? Sims seems very, very happy as well. We've had so many of these cases where we're so close to top players, and obviously it has worked out in the long run. We won the league, etc., etc. But maybe if we got those players, we wouldn't have those those seasons that we had. The 2021 season and the 22-23 season. But look, he's a top player, Florian Wirtz. He's probably one of the best players in the world, arguably the top 5 player in the world, you could say. Definitely one of the best midfielders in the world. He's he's an elite creator, and he can play various different positions. But I think everybody had their tongue in their mouth, because Bayern Munich, they're normally the ones that nab German players from the quotation lesser German clubs. No disrespect to Bayern Munich, but you can't really compete with the finances of Bayern Munich. But you have to say, Liverpool are a very, very exciting project for many players. Look as soon as I read last week where it was something around Man City have pulled out the deal for financial reasons, I knew that this guy's rejected him. It was nothing to do with finances. Man City can't afford the player. When they pay Haaland 1 million.
Just sorry to interject. Why do you think that happened though, Sari? Because all the talk was that they saw him as the natural replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. He was leaving, and all the talk was that they did a lot of groundwork for Florian Wirtz. So why do you think how Liverpool just came and gazumped everything? Or everyone,
I think that's the question for everyone. But I do feel, look, for me, I think it's very, very tricky to say because obviously City have won 4 Premier Leagues in a row before this season. But you look at the state of the club they're in now, Asim. Pep Guardiola has been here, going to be here for 10 years at the end of next season. They're a club going into a new direction, a direction that nobody knows. Whereas you look at the project at Liverpool, they've got a new coaching, they've got a hierarchy in the transfer team that are, dealing with everything. They've got young players coming through, Gravenberch, they've got McAllister, who's 26 years old, 25 years old. They've got the experience of Van Dijk in there. Jeremy Frimpong's going to Liverpool. If a player looks at that kind of project, they've got a new coach, they're heading to a new direction. I know I'm going to be stable here. Why would you not look at Liverpool and go, this is where I want to be? And maybe Florian Wirtz just wanted the new challenge. Obviously, he's played in the Bundesliga. Going from Leverkusen to Bayern is a jump, but it's not a massive jump in terms of, challenging yourself. It's still Bundesliga. This is still relatively the same. But going from like Bayer Leverkusen to Liverpool, it's a new league, new country. He's playing in a new system, probably a more impressive league, as we like to call it, the Premier League. But I just think it was down to preference, Asim. And he looked at Liverpool as the perfect project. And you look at the state Man City are in, and I'm sure they'll be back. But it's a club that we don't know how they're going to perform in the next 5 years. Whereas Liverpool, there's a clear plan where they're going to go. So I think that's what it's down to be honest.
And plus, I think we've been talking about for the last 3-4 days how the narrative is changing. They went after, for a big propaganda propaganda campaign for the player. And it, apparently, it disrespected the family, who are really down to earth and really, understand and appreciate these sort of things. They didn't want to be the villain amongst, German media. And I think that pissed them off, but they still remained respectful until the last moment. And I think they must have got the opportunity to really, convince Florian Wirtz even in the 11th hour. So you have to give the player credit, because the norm, even though Bayern Leverkusen haven't been selling players or their best players or any player for that matter since 2004. I think the last transfer was Lucio. So you have to give credit where it's due for Bayern Leverkusen. But generally, the best young players in Germany, in Dortmund or elsewhere, go to Bayern Munich. And that is the thing to do in German football, isn't it? You can play for Bayern Munich, especially if you're going to be the face of German football. But why do you think, I know you've just explained it, but you have to give credit to the player. Massive, massive credit. It's a statement of intent on Leverkusen's behalf, where we might be losing our manager, Sarib. We might be losing our best players, but we still don't want to strengthen our best, biggest rival in Bayern Munich. It's also a statement of intent on Liverpool's behalf, going for the players at the top table. And this player, I know we've been talking about Isak, we've been talking about Alvarez. Realistically speaking, Sarib, this guy's probably the best player in the world that was available to Liverpool right now.
I mean,
who else is there?
Yeah, I think, people are going to argue Rodrigo, etc. But you look at real top talent. Rodrigo is one, but feasible player that you could probably
one of the best then.
Yeah, no. Of course. I think a player that's at a club that's not at the elite level that could make the next step was Rodrigo's at Real Madrid, etc. But look, you have to give credit to Florian Wirtz, because he could have easily just taken the easy step going from Leverkusen to Bayern. We've seen so many players do that from Dortmund, from Leipzig. It's quite simple for a player to just go from a lesser German club, quotation marks. I don't want to disrespect Leverkusen because they are last season's champions, but they obviously have lost the title to Bayern. But I think for him now, it shows that he's the type of player that he doesn't want to have a comfortable career. He wants to go and challenge himself, and he wants to go and kind of experience new things. And I think having a player like Florian Wirtz in the Premier League, not only just for Liverpool, in the Premier League, it makes the Premier League attractive for more players to come into the Premier League. And like for Liverpool, it's great. It's absolutely great. But I think the statement of intent the Premier League are showing to Europe that we are the top league. If you sit on your laurels, we're going to nab your best players. And one of Germany's best talents is going to the champions of England when he could have easily gone to the champions of Germany. It shows how highly regarded Liverpool are in European football now in terms of how they're looked at. And I think winning the league helps. But after Jurgen Klopp, everyone thought, it's all going to go downhill. Everyone's saying, oh, you've got no pool, you can't get this player, you can't get that deal. No one's saying anything now. Everyone's saying, oh, yeah, Liverpool this. No, I'm not hearing it, man. We are the champions of England.
fair play to not Gene, because he was actually, you know what, he did promise me 5 minutes. He's traveling today. He would have made it.
Yeah,
Avi
he
was
told me.
supposed to come. Avi's in the country, but he's on, because he's only here for a week. He's always regularly getting family and relatives, so he was supposed to come on. He might still do. Gene promised me 5 minutes where he parks it on the services and gives me 5 minutes from his phone. So let's see if he fulfills that promise. Let's go through, and but fair play to Sleepy. I think he said it earlier in the show as well. Asim, I hold my hands up. Never thought he was leaving Germany. But fair play, fair play. But to be honest with you, Sleepy wasn't alone, Sarib. So many people. I like to go back into the show, try to engage with the people that watch the show after the live, and so many people saying, "Why the hell are you doing content on this?" And but we're here to enjoy the roller coaster, and we're gonna get heartbroken. Not hopefully this summer, but we have been heartbroken in the past, and I can understand why fans were so skeptical about the transfer. Caicedo, Jude, Lavia, and a few others as well over the last couple of years. But we have to understand, we have to try again. Liverpool are just going to go for 30, 40 million signings, nailed on signings that they'll sort out in a couple of days. Frimpong release clauses, all these deals as really good. We have to go for the best players and fair play. And we've been talking about it all summer. And, since even we won the league, that last year, Sareb, when we were told that we won Zuba-Mendy, he's the only guy that can really improve us. And Ryan Gravenberg was a revelation in that role. But we kept on saying, okay, if Zuba-Mendy or a few other players can improve this team, then give us proof of that.
Yeah.
And not just go for projects. But fair play to Liverpool. I've seen this as a transformational signing, a game changer in what. And let's be honest, I think Gene tweeted it earlier, that the likes of Arsenal fans and the likes of Man City fans or whoever up and down the country, we will have sent shivers when that David Ornstein or that Sasha exclusive went out today, that Liverpool have agreed personal terms with this player. And now that's left, what's left is getting involved in sorting out the fee with Leverkusen. Honestly, Liverpool, it's a statement of intent from Liverpool that we want to win league titles again. And what you could have accused, Sarri, this is the question to you: how many times have we said you strengthen from from a position of strength? And this is exactly what that type of signing is. When we won the last league, I think, who did we buy? Did we buy Shimikas?
No,
did we buy Thiago and Jota? Yeah. Decent signings. Thiago was obviously a big name.
Yeah.
But injuries and the type of physicality in the league, he struggled, but he was still a joy to watch. But it's fair to say that he didn't really fulfill his potential in this league.
It didn't cost much either, and I think that's what's the different Asim here. Like, this is a 100 million pound signing. This is a marquee signing.
Exactly.
We've never operated like this. As a football club, Liverpool have never operated like this. Maybe we've touched base with it for the last couple of years, but it's never really got over the line. You look at Caicedo, you look at Jude Bellingham, even the Bellingham deal, when it came out after the Leeds United game, or might have been before the Leeds game, but it was around that time we played Leeds, 22-23. Liverpool have pulled it in with Jude Bellingham, package too expensive. They will now go for 4 midfielders. That's how we function as a football club. And yes, it's worked, but we've always wanted our ownership to just pull out the purse and spend money. And for some reason, they might have had a good year. And that's why the tax year might have been very, very good for them. And they're able to spend this money. But look, you look at, this is probably the first time, Asim, where I've seen Liverpool not sell someone to buy someone. We've actually gone out and improved the team. You look at Philippe Coutinho. Everyone talks about Philippe Coutinho. To sell Coutinho, we funded Van Dijk and Alisson with that. And everything else was 40, 50 million pound signings, which we can do as a football club. But this is really the first time in Liverpool's history, I don't think people understand that, in Liverpool's history, that they're signing a player for 100 odd million pounds, nabbing in front of one of the top European clubs and clubs that could have gone for him. It's never happened before. And this is I don't think people realize how monumental this day is. Not only for us, but like you said, it sends shivers not only down English football, European football. I'm sure Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich are looking at Liverpool thinking, what's going on here? They're building a really, really good team. But more to come, hopefully. I mean, it's going to be a big summer. It's a nice start. Kirkez. And
Let's remind
Havertz.
us. We'll touch on Kirkers. We'll touch on Frimpong because obviously you've been away, and I want to get your thoughts of where you think we had plenty of
Yeah, of course.
discussions. So I'm going to concentrate on yourself by your thoughts where Florian Wirtz will fit into the Liverpool team. Well, let's just remind us ourselves of all the bombers that went off around 6-7 o'clock. Florian Wirtz was in northwest England recently to house hunt before potential Liverpool switch. Should it proceed, not related to Man City, Bayern Munich have been informed of the playmakers' presence. How do I go down on this?
I have to do it. You want to go down?
Yeah. Liverpool given huge boost in Florian Wirtz pursuit. Bayern Munich believe 22-year-old on course for Anfield move. If he leaves Bayern Munich this summer, clubs will still need to agree a deal, not a formality, but Germany international favours Liverpool.
And Asim, for me, before we move on, that is the key line for me, because in this modern era of football, Asim, if a player wants to go somewhere, 95% of the time, even if the club doesn't want to sell, the player gets his move. Player power in this era is at its peak. You saw it with Caicedo. You saw it with Lavia. You're seeing it with Zubamendi. Player power is the most important thing in the world of football. If a player wants to go somewhere, he's just not going to turn up to training. Happened with Courtois just after the World Cup. He did not want to stay at Chelsea. He said, if you do not sell me to Real Madrid, I will not train. And he got his move. And if that is what's key here, yeah, the fee might not be agreed with Leverkusen, but player wants Liverpool. That is the most important thing.
100%.
This is 1 hour.
This is a brilliant comment. Just before we carry on with the David Ornstein, Asim, those feelings are magic, bro. Next is Wharton feelings. Edwards view Wharton as generational and transformational as well. Pico, I will let you know when we get Wharton feelings. Keep on scrolling, Sarib.
Someone's saying breaking news, 120 million in the comments, but let's have a look anyway. Let's go. This is Fabrizio Romano. Let's go to
Romano.
this.
Okay, Romano 3 hours ago. 4 hours ago, even. Liverpool have made a formal. Liverpool are extremely confident on Florian Wirtz deal to be sealed very soon, both club and player sides. That was 3 hours ago. There was another one 4 hours ago, no?
Yeah, 4 hours ago, yeah.
And then before that, he said, Liverpool have made a formal approach for Bayern Leverkusen for Florian Wirtz. After initial green light from the player, Liverpool and Bayern Leverkusen are in talks over transfer fee package. Liverpool want the deal to be done very soon. And this is very encouraging for me, Sarib. And all the people that we speak to are saying the same thing, that Liverpool want no late surprises, because we've been there before, haven't we? But I think, personally speaking, I think this deal gets wrapped up really quickly, just because we don't want anything happening. Like I said, we've been bitten before. As long as, and someone messaged me saying, look, I'm a bit skeptical. Can you remember Caicedo? The thing, I think the important point that we need to remember, Sarib, is the Caicedo deal. We never had the approval of the player. We went to Brighton, our bid got accepted. Whether you think it was a PR campaign on behalf of Liverpool, but the bid went in. The bid went in. Whether we were going to pay or not, I think we were. I think there was no real benefit of Liverpool, having a big PR campaign. But the problem is because we were slightly in panic mode. We tried to hijack the deal, and we went for that bid. But the problem is Chelsea, generally speaking, were really relaxed even when the Liverpool bid went in. And many, even after the bid went in, many journalists said Chelsea still have the player's preference. And all they had to do is go bid an extra £5-10 million more than Liverpool, and they got the deal done around about 111 million. On this occasion, this is the most important point that we need to stress, is Liverpool have got the players' preference. And all that needs to be done is, I won't call it a formality, but is the fee. I think Liverpool will not be going into players' talks and showing him, homes around Cheshire if they didn't know what the fee is going to be, or how big the deal is going to be. Liverpool are under no, they're not disillusioned here, or under no illusion that this deal is going to be around about 60-70 million pounds. Liverpool know that they will have to probably break the record, and I think that Liverpool are in a position to. Well, Liverpool will make sure they protect themselves in terms of making sure they can go again in the summer. They won't go crazy and say, okay, we have to. But the point we also miss here, Sarib, is we've got so many players that we will be able to recoup some money this summer. The likes of Kelleher, the likes of maybe Gomez or Kwanzaa may leave as well. I think maybe one of them. Then we've got Nunes. Then we've got a question mark against Diaz. We've got a question mark against Jota. I think Harvey Elliott leaves, judging by his comments last week. Liverpool could easily recoup, depending who goes, between 150 to 200 million pounds.
The money that we paid for Wirtz, we could probably get back within fringe player sales. And I think that's very, very important. And maybe that's what they're looking at. Maybe they know that it's the summer of change, the summer where Liverpool are going to really invest in the squad, a lot of trimming down of the squad, a lot of additions to the squad. So maybe this Wirtz deal was kind of a formality in terms of price. But to do it like this, to me, is still mind-boggling. I think since I've watched football, I think you obviously you've watched Liverpool a lot longer than me. I've never experienced this personally. I've never experienced this. And I think that's what's really, really great that Arne Slot has come in. And I know Anfield Sector put a tweet out 30 minutes ago. I think he retracted the journalist. If you can get up on the screen here, actually, I'll show you. He said this. And I think this is what's the most important thing. I said, look, you look at this. Wirtz, you get up on the screen, if you can, please. Wirtz's decision to join Liverpool had to do with one man in particular. Liverpool coach Arne Slot was a crucial factor. That, for me, is very, very key. In a personal meeting, the Dutchman was extremely convincing and outlined a very clear sporting plan to Wirtz, which the latter was very enthusiastic about, so him and his family. On the other hand, Bayern had also shown Wirtz a sporting path for the future, but they were not entirely convincing. As from Wirtz's point of view, a few questions still remain unanswered. Money didn't play a big role in terms of salary. The two offers were on a very similar level. We lost Klopp, but we've got Arne Slot, and he's a genius. And I think him winning the league is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And to get up, I'm still in a kind of shock that, a German player has gone from Leverkusen to Liverpool instead of Leverkusen to Bayern. And I know Leverkusen and Bayern don't really do business, but it's still for me. What did he say? Sarib,
he said, "Wow, Sarib, you just called Asim an old man."
No,
right.
no, he has. Since you've been watching Liverpool, you obviously it's been years longer than me. Have you ever had a situation where you're nabbing one of Europe's best players to go to Liverpool, City and Bayern Munich sniffing around? It's never happened. It's never happened. No. And that's what I'm saying. This is historically massive for Liverpool.
I want to talk to you about where he would fit in, Sarib. I did a bit of digging, but the beauty about this is not just like a players that become available and he won't fit into this team in terms of how much he works. Interestingly enough, Slot talked about, Trent's, he had a little dig at him on the way out of the club, and he goes, yeah, maybe it's a gift to Xabi Alonso. And he mentioned the application of one of his most...
We've got breaking Fabrizio Romano news.
Go on.
You have to get that up, Asim. You have to get that up on the screen.
2 seconds.
Do you want to read it out, or shall I bring it up?
Bring it up.
Let's do this. I love it when I absolutely love it when we're on stream and news breaks. It's just the best feeling. But it also gives me Caicedo PTSD. Remember that one?
Florian Wirtz. Florian, have you brought it up? Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Florian Wirtz has informed Bayer Leverkusen of his desire to join Liverpool. The contract agreement is done, sealed, as Wirtz only wants Liverpool move. Club-to-club talks already underway, as revealed earlier. Liverpool are confident to get this done. What do we just say? No long saga. Look,
simple.
We even tell you 5 minutes or 10 minutes before Romano comes. But he's a friend of ours. We let him off.
But no,
that's awesome news. Absolutely awesome news.
I want to get your opinion on this, and the conversation, you get involved as well. Liverpool are a club that I believe they only release transfer news into the press, whether they say Liverpool have interest in a player, but I feel like they do that, but the deal's already further down the line than what they put out there. Like same with Milos Kerkez.
Yeah, carry on.
Same with Kerkez. I'm pretty sure if you're a betting man, you put a bet on Milos Kerkez to go to Liverpool, you'll be a very, very rich man. It's so obvious. Even with the Frimpong news, I knew it came out. I knew this deal was more advanced than what it was being reported. A week later, here we go by Fabrizio Romano. Florian Wirtz, the news comes up today. He's going to Liverpool, and deal done soon. I'm sure this has been kind of in the works for longer than what we think. But that's why I like Liverpool, because when they really want a player, they do business like this, very, very quick, very, very precise.
I had oh no, man, I had a question for you. Puliga.
It doesn't matter about the question. But look,
It's gone.
do
It's
you
gone.
believe that as well? Do you believe that as well, Asim? When Liverpool are, throwing interest
Yes,
out,
yes. You're right, 100%. And the encouraging thing was every guy I know who I genuinely trust that has information on transfers and just general information on the club were really coy. And I mentioned this a couple of days ago, Sarib. And the one that I trust the most, he was skeptical. But the moment it changed is when he messaged me saying something is happening. And I thought, if this guy is saying from being skeptical to randomly saying something is happening, that's why about 5-6 days ago I messaged, I tweeted something is happening. I just literally copied and pasted it on Twitter. But that for me was like really, really, optimistic feelings. Honestly, I thought, wow, if he's saying it, this guy does not get many things wrong. But I want to ask you, where does he fit in? Because the beauty about just getting this player is he will fit the system, whether he goes into a number 10, whether he goes into a number 9 as a false 9, or as the Germans call it, the wrong 9. But he's the right player for us. He might be the wrong 9, but he's the right player. I am really intrigued as Slot, if you listen to his presses, throughout the years, Sarib, he mentions speed, he mentions duels. Even in the first or second press conference after the Ipswich game, he took Kwanzaa off and he mentioned we can't we can't, what's the word, we can't, what's the word?
What's the context?
We can't have our style on a team. There's a word for it. I should move on. But anyway, Florian Wirtz has won the most possessions in the opposition's final third, 71 times in the Bundesliga this season. He has also covered the third most distances in the Bundesliga, 11.6 km per 90 for Bayer Leverkusen. And I tweeted another big shout out to Mizgan, who'll probably be in the building. Massive guy on stats and really gets me some really, really good snippets. I'm just going to read what he said, and I tweeted it earlier. And just bear with me. Where's his tweet? There it is. Florian Wirtz finished this season as the second most duels winner in the Bundesliga with 383, Sarib. And I go on, some of those words Slot's been using in the press as a duel and speed and impose. Thank you very much, Shiraz. If you can't impose your style on anyone if you don't win the duels. And he mentioned that after that 45 minutes against Ipswich on the opening day of the season, that this is the reason why I put, Kanate. There's no point, trying to look pretty if you don't win your duels. You'll just get simply done over. And we saw that as well with Everton and Newcastle and PSG later on in the season, where I think we were a bit tired. And I think PSG is a brilliant side. But if I'm being honest, and maybe I've got my Liverpool cap on, I think PSG played us at the right time as well. But look, fair play, we lost out to a brilliant side and they deserve to be in the final. But going back to what we were talking about, Florian Wirtz's numbers, sorry, the beauty about this number 10 is he's not that 10 where he's going to look good and just be expected to get fed the ball. This guy can run. This guy can roll his sleeves up when he needs to. This guy can put a tackle in. This guy can harass and pressurize the opponents and lead the press from the front, just like we've seen Szoboszlai. If you're not prepared to work, Arne Slot is not interested in you. And to be fair, a lot of people like Ryan Shirky's. Ryan Shirky's creativity is off the scale, to be fair to him. But there's a question mark about his, off the ball numbers. But this guy, Sari, whether he's going to come and play the number 10, or whether he's going to play the false 9, we're going to be excited on a weekly basis.
And I think that's what's very, very important. Asim. In football, I think it's all good, looking good on the ball, playing cute passes in behind. But if you're lethargic and you aren't running around, you aren't helping your teammates, you aren't tracking and you're very passive, you're not going to be able to do. You're not going to be able to do anything. And look, it it was very, very successful for us for a very, very long time. You look at the midfielders we had under Jurgen Klopp. They were very, very, strong midfielders that weren't the most technical. You can say Thiago, Keita, but you look at Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, Milner, Wijnaldum to some extent. But these were dual winning midfielders that did the dog work for Liverpool, and they were the system that really. They were the engine for the rest of the team when you had the creativity from the fullbacks and the attackers scoring the goals. I think if you don't win your duels and your individual battles and you don't win your midfield battle, because I think the midfield is the most important part of the pitch, you're not going to be able to do anything. And I know we critique Szoboszlai a lot with his on the ball work, and sometimes he makes the wrong pass, he holds onto the ball too long, and he loses the ball a bit too much. But the reason why he's in the Liverpool team is because he is very, very good off the ball. He wins his duels. He's very, very tenacious, and he covers a lot of ground. And now we are up. Now you asked me the question before, where do you see Florian Wirtz playing? And I think you've described it beautifully. He wins his duels. He's very, very creative, and he runs a lot. That sounds like to me an upgrade on Szoboszlai. That's what it sounds like to me. That sounds like it's an upgrade on Dominic Szoboszlai.
Where do you think he plays?
That's a very, very interesting. I think we can probably answer that or have a better idea of that once the window is done, because it depends on the striker, depends on Diaz outgoings. But the crucial part here, Asim, is Wirtz can play as a number 10. You can play on the inside left. You can play on the inside right. You can play as a false 9. Maybe if you want, you can play a bit deeper. But he gives us a load of options to move a lot of players around. I would personally play him in the number 10 because, like you said, again, Szoboszlai, we saw him play a bit deep against Brighton. Not as a conventional 6. It was more like an 8. I think he prefers that as well.
But I think Mizgan mentioned the same point as well, Sarif. There's a reason why Sobo was tried deeper, but he was asked that in the presser today, and he sort of deflected it off, and he said, he goes, look, McAllister is going to play. I can't see McAllister being replaced because that's McAllister's best position.
Yep.
That's McAllister's best position. Although, look, did we get a little hint as McAllister, although he was tired, and obviously after that he didn't play, and he's given his holiday march from that game because he deserves a rest, or as the manager said, look, he's been an Argentinian all season, and so he deserves to put his feet up throughout the summer. But I think this is what the beauty again, Sarib, multifunctional. The reason why when we missed out on Jude Bellingham, I think the reason why these guys came in, and when even Klopp and Linda's changed system later on, then Slot adjusted it here and there, made slight little tweaks. The likes of Gravenberg, the likes of Szoboszlai, the likes of McAllister, and now Wirtz, they're all multifunctional footballers, Sarib. So put them in any system, generally speaking, but make tweaks and expect them to play the 6, the 8, the number 10 out wide and have the fluidity. Again, I mentioned PSG. Why are they such a beautiful team to watch? Because so many players of theirs are so comfortable. If it's not happening on the left, they'll put Kvaratskhelia on the left, go Dembele on the right, and vice versa. The fluidity between Liverpool's attackers is going to be amazing to see next season.
And I've always said I'm a fan of multifunctional, rotation, and I think that's what we had previously under Jurgen Klopp when we saw Mane drop into the right hand side, the left hand side, Salah do very, very similar. Firmino drop into the 10 if he needed to go down the left. And I think having flexibility in your attackers and having multifunctional rotations, I think it gives other teams a problem as well. Because if you're a fullback and you see the team sheet and you're coming up against Luis Diaz, for example, and you're Ashraf Hakimi, for example, and now you've got Florian Wirtz, and now you've got Mo Salah, you're going to be like, I need to be on my A game here because I'm not only going to be marking Luis Diaz, there's going to be rotation. I'm going to be marking Florian Wirtz, and the versatility, nice. It's going to be quite incredible because you've got so many different options. I think PSG is the best example. I think Real Madrid had it somewhat last year when they had Bellingham kind of playing at the top of the diamond, Vinny, Rodrigo. I think their rotations were quite nice. So Mbappe's come in, hasn't been as fluid as as we've seen. But I think maybe this is where Asim now. I still think Liverpool are going to target this position. Do you see now, because of this Wirtz deal, Liverpool not going for a striker? Because a striker in this market, you look at strikers now, bar Isak and Alvarez, which are dreams. Most of these strikers are very one-dimensional strikers. What I mean is, They're very, very good. They're getting behind,
Mm.
but I don't see Gyökeres playing off the right or the left, or you look at
Yeah.
Ekitike, you really see him playing off the right, etc. No, I don't see it. So I want to ask you, does it change transfer plans, this versatility?
I don't think it'll change the versatility. But if I'm honest, I think Liverpool will go for a number 9 as well this season.
I think they will, but it's a nice question to ask, because where do we fit all these players in? Where we've got so many players. Look, if Wirtz comes in to replace Dominic Szoboszlai and Jones are the double 10s on the bench. You've then got Darwin Núñez out the door. Can you really see him breaking up that midfield of Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister that has got us to winning the title? I don't see it personally. So then where do you play Florian Wirtz?
I think, especially when we're going to be in control, I think we can play a striker and then Szoboszlai, Wirtz in the number 10. Maybe when we go to the likes of Arsenal and Man City, and fans are going to ask us, how many times are we going to go to these teams? 2-3 times a year, and that's about it. So is Szoboszlai going to play 2-3 times a year? But I think one thing that this manager has learned over the course of this season is the intensity of the league and the physicality of the league. And there was a lot of talk about he likes to play with a small squad, and he could get away with these in the Dutch league. But I think one of the the sort of messages that we've been getting, and he's a very shrewd and smart lad, is Arne Slot, is he's played the likes of Chiesa, as much as we love him to do well, and Kwanzaa, with all due respect. One of the messages that us fans are getting is those fans that were giving me a load of shit for not playing these players over the course of the season, these guys are not that good. Let's be honest. So I think that's one of the messages that he's sending to the fans, that the guys that you wanted us to play throughout the season, they're not great, and he doesn't trust them. But we have to trust him, and this guy has won, the title in his first season, and if anyone deserves to be trusted, is our manager. But the point I'm trying to make is, Salib, is it's a squad thing, and I don't think he trusted those guys on the bench, the likes of Harvey Elliott, the likes of Kwanzaa, to make those changes. And he did say, look, I'm always playing Szoboszlai is because he's a machine. He called him a machine.
Yeah.
But even the machine got tired. Even the machine, there was a really iconic picture throughout the season. In this season was a City away, where he just fell to the ground after the final whistle. But the thing is, again, I repeat, at the highest level against those biggest teams, I think Liverpool did show that we were tired. And we suffered against Everton. We suffered against Newcastle. We suffered against PSG, especially away from home. But when you've got your best players in the business end of the season fresh, I think you'll see a bigger and better Liverpool next season, because we've got the likes of Szoboszlai and Wirtz. Is because you have to understand is, I think we'll still go through Salah a lot. And why wouldn't you? Because he's still an unbelievable elite playmaker. But we do cheat with him, in inverted commas, in terms of we do let him, stay in those advanced positions. So that number 10 is such an integral role, especially when we don't have the ball. Sorry, we talked about Slot being, coming in and playing a controlled fashion in a controlled fashion. But this season, compared to the last season of Klopp's tenure, we had less possession compared to the last. So that wasn't the plan. We had less possession this season compared to last season. And we call the Slot philosophy more controlled. So I think coming in and having a player who can receive a pass, make a pass, but be very, very controlled, and keep the ball ticking as well, and don't lose the ball, I think that's very, very important. And I think this is all part of replacing creativity in our team. We've all talked about how we're going to replace Trent, and I know I'm going a bit of in a tangent, but I promise I'll shut up in a bit.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, Trent,
and we needed to replace his creativity. We're not going to go get another Trent. Go tell me who pings it like him. Nobody in the world. So what do? We bring in a more creative 10, and then we add more movement around Salah and the creative 10. So it's a squad thing, and that's what's going to happen. Now probably we do need the tempo setter in midfield, and it'll be interesting to see if we address that area. But I think this is all part of adding to the squad, more quality, add more output in those advanced areas, and also finding another dynamic in replacing Alexander Trent. Because as much as what you thought of him in terms of how he left, no one can deny how important he was. And I think it may have started, at the start of the season, where I think he did that BT interview with Rio Ferdinand, and he said, look, I don't want my right back being in centre positions because I've got Gravenberch for that. I've got McAllister for that. But I want him in those little, right half spaces in deeper areas, and then going from there, whether he underlaps or the overlaps, or, he can ping across from, the right side area. So I think he's sat down. How am I going to replace Trent? And this is the way they've gone on about it. And I think you'll see many, many different variations of what you just mentioned. I think we'll see that. Sometimes if Diaz is up top, Wirtz might start from the left. He might be the number 10 from those areas. Diaz can stay a bit more to the box. And we've got Kirkez running up and down. I tweeted a week ago that Kirkez, I think, is the highest in the league, or sorry, not the highest in the league, second or third in the league, where he makes a defensive action. And from that defensive action, there's a shot in action as a consequence. So that tells me that this guy's got legs, this guy's got power, this guy's got running speed, and it'll be unbelievable, especially in transition. So Liverpool are looked at in the area. They added speed and they added creativity. And now we look to the person who can bang and find the goal. So yeah, man, I think this guy's a genius. I called him a genius last year. He made some mistakes, but we all do. So, but anyway, there's still nearly 900 people in here. Sorry, but the 11:30. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. We're giving you 2 shows a day. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of BNR. There's also some news coming out. I'm dying to tell you guys what's coming in the next week or two. Sarim knows exactly what's happening or what I'm talking about. I promise you, as soon as I've got the permission to tell you as to where this channel is going.
Yeah, and he's muted himself because he doesn't want to reveal too much, because Asim does talk a lot, and he's muted himself in the process.
I will spill the beans, and I think he's only 22, Sarib. That
is what is insane to me, because it feels like he's been around for ages, Florian Wirtz. And look, I think we need players. I think players with mileage in their legs at a young age has his pros, has his cons, but a player with experience at that young age is very, very rare. And I know we have that with Harvey Elliott somewhat, but to this level, to the extent that he's playing Champions League every season, he's playing in teams, creating chances year in, year out, it hasn't really happened. And what people might have forgot, Florian Wirtz, Asim, he did his ACL a couple of years ago. He done his ACL, and he came back and he looked even better. And that's what it's about for me. But look, I want to ask you, Asim, I want to ask you now. You've explained how Liverpool may set up next season with or without a 9. I think that's a conversation that we're going to have another day. But Trent's left the club. Jeremy Frimpong's come in. Kirkez, I'd say it looks to be done very, very soon. Wirtz is coming in. Are Liverpool already a stronger team than last year, than after losing Trent? Because obviously we lost Trent. That was a big blow. We brought in Frimpong to replace him. Kirkez, Wirtz. Are Liverpool already a better team than they were maybe 2 weeks ago? You think so? Comment section, get involved.
Absolutely. Are Liverpool a better team right now? They have to be. We've got Wirtz. Hopefully, the Frimpong deal is done. Hopefully, we get Kirkez done in the next week to 10 days. Surely we are. Yes. Easily.
Yes. Kirkez
even Ibu thinks we're a better team. There's a few super chats, Sarib. I like this one. Jack Heritage, thank you very much for your super chat, mate. He says, I'm still deluded enough to we'll get Alvarez.
Would be nice.
Has he got a release clause?
Yes, 120 mil or something like that. Something silly. It's quite high. Might be more actually. But I still think, Asim, I know Newcastle are going to get in the Champions League, but I still think we're going to try for Isak. Whether we get him or not, is a different conversation. I still think we're going to try and sign Isak. And once we get the no, I think we might look at someone like Gyökeres. And look, Gyökeres, I know his underlying numbers, he misses quite a few chances, Gyökeres. He's got, I think, the highest big chances missed in Europe. But he also, takes a lot of shots and he scores a lot of goals. Asim, he's got a £55 million that they're looking to sign for Sporting Lisbon. It's nothing.
I was surprised that we were told that Gyökeres is more or less not a done deal, but I think David Ornstein tweeted that the sporting director that's come in, he likes Gyökeres. I thought, sorry, what's his name?
Andrea Berta.
Yeah, Berta. And I thought that is a more or less a done deal. But I'm
Yeah, that's what I thought.
surprised they're going for Sesko. I'm surprised.
I mean, I think they need somebody more proven. Gyökeres is that. I would if Liverpool went and did a Gyökeres deal tomorrow, I would happily take it. And I know people are going to say Portuguese
I
league,
would
he's a
take it.
Nunes
I
2.0.
would take it.
He's not Nunes 2.0. He really isn't. I know he misses a lot of chances, but his goal record at Sporting Lisbon is ridiculous. Like, he wasn't only doing it in the Portuguese Liga NOS, he was doing it in the Champions League as well. And look, I know I'm skeptical about that. And the dream is Isak and maybe Alvarez. And I think we will go try for Isak first. But Gyökeres, I think, is somewhere that we shouldn't just, throw under the bus. It's a real option. And if we're trying to prioritize positions like the number 6, and whether it's Wharton or Stiller, names are going to be thrown around, Kirk is going to be number 50 million. For a striker that's 50 million, half the price of what we'll get Isak Alvarez for, I would do that deal, Asim. I'll be honest. He's 26.
I would
I know
do
he's
that
never
deal
played
as well.
league to a level. He's played somewhat English football at Coventry, but his goal record speaks for himself. Asim. He's had 2 elite seasons at Sporting. He's currently the top scorer in European football at the moment. I mean, why would you not look at that? Why?
I 100% agree. I think that his number, if he had one season like that, Sarib, I'd say, okay, let me see another. But he's proven it again. I know it's Portuguese league, like you said, but those numbers you can't ignore. And even if he probably provides 50% of them in the Premier League, it's still a good return, isn't it?
I don't think he's going to need to, Asim, because you look at Liverpool's attackers, they're all going to chip in with goals. Gakpo, if Diaz is here next season, Jota, Wirtz, Salah. He's not going to be the main goal scorer in the Liverpool team anyway. No one's going to outscore Mo Salah, whether you're never happened with Mane, never happened with Firmino. It's not going to be Gyökeres, not going to do that. Salah's obviously going to drop his numbers because the season he's just had has been elite. But even then, if Salah drops off by a couple of goals, he's still going to be Liverpool's top scorer. He's Liverpool's top scorer by quite some distance. And yes, Gyökeres might come to Liverpool or whatever. We're talking about hypotheticals here. But nobody's going to score more goals than Mo Salah or get more assists than Mo Salah. It's not going to happen. That's why I think having somebody there that could chip in with 15 goals season up front, it will be good. And
I've just got a message from Josh, Anfield Sector. Big up to Josh and Anfield Sector for all the work he does. Tell Sarib his name isn't Gyökeres. It's Gyökeres.
Gyökeres. Sorry.
Big up, Josh.
Sorry. You could have told me that, Joshy. Could have texted me that. Whether he's Gyökeres, like Torres, whatever you want to call him, we know that he scores goals. And as a number 9, proven goal scorers in the market now, there's a lot of project strikers. There's not really many proven strikers for that price, Asim, that you look at. Ekitike has been thrown around. He's still a project. Isak's big money. Alvarez is big money. Gyökeres seems perfect. Šeško again, he's quite big money as well. Where else do you look? I would definitely look at Gyökeres. Who knows if Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes think the same thing? I'm not on the transfer committee for a reason. So
okay, let's go through the super chats. Glenn Gates, thank you very much for your super chat, mate. Everton won Dork. Milk him for 50 million to fund Wirtz. How much do you think we get for Dork realistically?
25 mil max. I don't think we get more than that, to be honest. I think he's a bright prospect, but is he really going to make it at Liverpool? No. Would he have made it now if he was good enough? Probably yes. I know he's had injury problems, but I think 25 mil is reasonable. I don't think we're asking for a lot there. I think there's quite a few academy prospects, I think, that we might speak about that could be on the market this summer. I know there's one that you really, really like that kind of been looking at the last couple of days and thinking, we could get a bit of money for him if we put him on the market, even though we needed that position. But no, Ben Doak, 25 mil to Everton. You probably can tax them a bit more because, it's Everton. But I don't think we sell to Everton anyway. I think that's another situation. I don't think Liverpool will sell to Everton.
Could do a deal with Brathwaite.
I mean, yes. I mean, we could. I mean, we are in need of a centre-back. But I think if we do a deal with Everton, I don't think that'll be reciprocated because we're giving them Ben Doak. They're not going to give us one of their starting, 11 centre-backs, are they?
How many years has he got left on his contract? 2, maybe?
I'm not sure, I should find out for you now.
If someone can let me know.
If someone can let me know in the comments, contract expiry 2027. He signed a new contract, 2-year
2 years,
extension.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got another 2
2 years.
years. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it moving.
Got a few super chats,
Mohsin, sorry.
So you got a few super chats, no?
Yeah, I've got a few to go over. Mohsin Khan, big up. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. I'm buzzing for this deal. We all are. Wirtz is that one player that will get us off our seat. We don't have that player in our team. Liverpool mean business. I tweeted about 4 or 5 days ago that when I see him play, Sarib, he reminded me like a hybrid version of a Coutinho / Bobby. Now, Bobby was unbelievable, a really gifted technical footballer. But Wirtz is that as well. And he's got the work rate of Bobby as well. And maybe that number 10, the likes of Coutinho, the likes of Ozil, and there's a few others as well, because the game became, sorry?
Sir, James Rodriguez.
James Rodriguez, yeah. And because maybe the game became so methodical, coaches, Kevin De Bruyne, he was not really trusted. On the big day, Guardiola didn't trust Kevin De Bruyne in midfield. So you made him, play closer to the striker, so he can be a bit more expressive in the pitch areas of the pitch, where if you do lose it, it's fine. They've got plenty of players that can, protect him. But I feel like this guy is probably the most unique footballer that you're going to get, that is expressive, but also has got the appetite to put a hard shift in. So he reminded me of Bobby / Coutinho. Now, we're not going to get another Coutinho, I don't think. The 4-2-3-1, whether it's a 4-3-3, call it what you want. But these players now, Sarib, they need protection. And even when he went to Aston Villa, he started well, but as soon as teams start working you out, like, where do you play him? Do you play him on the left? Do you play in midfield? You're always trying to, protect him and patch it up. But bigger teams, better teams work you out. So I think he's going to be an absolute star in the making. He's already a star in the making. How many times has he had the German Footballer of the Year award? A couple of times already, has he, at the age of 22? This guy, I'm going to, in the famous words of Chin, he called Carvalho could win the Ballon d'Or. Florian Wirtz has the potential to win the Ballon d'Or. I think that's how much potential he has. So whether you want to clip me, I don't care. But I think it's a safer bet to say that Florian Wirtz has got the potential to win the Ballon d'Or than Fabio Carvalho, even though we know Chin didn't mean it that way. He just got a bit overexcited. But I think Wirtz has got that potential.
Gene definitely meant that. Gene definitely meant that. He's watching it. You definitely meant that, because you want to pinpoint everything out. Yeah, you definitely meant that. I wasn't even on the channel at that time. You definitely meant that. And I, for one, would never let that go.
But no, okay. People asking for what number? What number? What shirt number? What's available?
66.
What's available though right now?
No, 17,
17,
19. 19 might be available, because Harvey.
What number is he? What number is he thingy?
He wears number 27, I think.
What number is he at Bayern? 10.
No, he wasn't. Number 27 he was wearing. No, number 27.
I don't know.
I think he was number 27. He was number 27. He was number 27. He was.
Ali goes 10 now.
Yeah, I think he was number 27. He used to be number 27 though. I know that for sure. That's not a lie, by the way. Guys, come on, confirm that in the comments. I'm sure it was him that used to be number 27.
Do you think Maka would give his number 10 shirt for Wirtz?
No. He's number 27 for Liverpool right now. No one, right? No, I think he takes number 27 at Liverpool.
17 at Germany.
Yeah, but Jones has got 17.
Ash goes, take Darwin's.
I mean, that number is going to be available in the summer if the reports are supposed to be correct. Darwin Núñez will be, his number will be available if we're looking at reports and believing that 9 will be available. But Florian Wirtz, I don't think he will take the number 9. I think 27 is probably his best. But what do you reckon? It'll be funny.
I don't think Florian Wirtz suits the number 9 shirt.
Yeah, he's more like a number 7, isn't he? So it's number 7/10.
No 8. Soboslai deserves that number 8. He's box to box, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess.
Your number 10 is your number 10. I've seen like number 7s as well. But
Yeah, but
sevens,
don't you think? Don't you think it's a bit weird though? Because look, Szoboszlai plays more advanced than Maka. Yeah, Maka's got the number that's supposed to
yeah,
be a number.
yeah,
Mm, I don't
70 as
know.
he's not.
Times are changing, but no, I think he gets number 27. But the reality is, that's him. I know that's going to be up in the air what number he gets, but what's imperative and what's clear and what's for sure that Florian Wirtz takes Liverpool from a good side, because I do think there was flaws in Liverpool's team, and I think they become more
Mm,
apparent. I think more so after we won the title. But there were games, Asim, where I watched, especially in first halves, where we weren't great, especially in the Emirates in the first half. I don't think we were good. Brighton at home, I don't think we were good in the first half. Fulham, I know we were down to 10 men, but I thought the structure was all over the place. Southampton away in the first half, I thought we were really, really bad. Florian Wirtz gives us control of games, and how many games can you count on? I probably can count on one hand. That's in 90 minutes that Liverpool have had control of an entire game. Maybe Man
mm,
City away was probably the most important, one that we had. Real Madrid at home. I think Arne Slot always looks back at those two games. But other than that, maybe Manchester United. Even then, I thought United still had a few chances, but clear control in a game.
mm,
Probably Man City away and Real Madrid away. And how many times are you going to play those teams in a season? But we had those flaws against Southampton, Fulham, Brighton, etc., etc. And Wirtz gives us
mm,
control. And a player of his quality that's so comfortable in possession only makes
mm.
Liverpool an elite team. Take it from a good team to an elite team. You look at PSG as an example, Asim. They lost Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. They added
Yeah,
Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, and Barcola with two flying fullbacks, and they've totally controlled the midfield. Look at the midfield: Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, Zaire can't even get a sniff in there out of these players. João Neves, and they've got
yeah.
complete control of games. I know Arsenal exposed them a bit, but generally speaking, I
Mm.
mean,
Josh has sent me a comparison. I think it's from Data MB between Florian Wirtz and Musiala. And
it must
Wirtz,
be very similar. It must be very similar.
sorry,
It must be similar.
Wirtz excels. Or both
See if you can send.
22.
See if you can
Progressive
send.
carries. I've sent it to you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can get up on the screen.
Try to bring it up. Try to bring
You
it
know
up.
what? I'm gonna try.
It'll
I'm
be
gonna try and bring
interesting.
it up. Okay, let's have a
But
look here.
more actions, attacking actions, more key passes, Sarib, more assists, more XG, non-penalty goals is where Musiala beats him. Dribbles, Wirtz is better. Progressive carries,
I'm gonna bring this
Wirtz
up now.
is better. I'm really,
That
really surprised.
when I look at it, it's actually
A lot
insane.
of
Let's
metrics is
see if I can
better.
bring it up. 1 second. 1 second. Let's see if I can bring it up for you. Don't mind it. Don't mind what I just
Whilst
said.
you do that, I'll go through the super chats.
Do
Muhammad
that.
Kibriya, thank you very much. Wirtz 10, Dom LW. Wow. Kirkez left back, Hungarian connection. Okay, that's an interesting take. Wirtz 10, Dom LW. The only look, he can do that. He's played for his country in that position where he just plays in that pocket then. And in terms of him coming onto the ball and coming onto his favorite left foot, I think that's his probably best position. And he can come inside as well. But the problem with Arne Slot, and I'm blessed on a weekly basis when I watch him, is the amount of times, Sarib, that he tells his left winger to hold width. So when your winger holds width, you need to have that ability to take someone on the outside, especially. And I don't think, Szoboszlai has that. He can get half a yard and shoot half a yard and ping it across the field. He's got that ability, but I wouldn't class Dominic Szoboszlai as a left winger.
He
And
can
if
play
Wirtz
there.
he can play there, but I think then you slightly become too predictable. That's the only thing. I think Dom's best position is starting in from left side of midfield. Just what we saw. He's played 10. He's done a really good job, but I think in a similar fashion where Wirtz can do a job as well from the left wing, but
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
always be inside. The good thing is we've got the advantage of Kirk running up and down. But look, we're not dissing Musiala as a footballer. He's an unbelievable footballer, and whenever I watch Musiala, honestly, he's that kind of player that he makes you get your bum off your seat as well. So he is special. Bashi is in the house. It's been a while, man. I'm not seen Bashi. He says, "What's going on, Asim?" A lot's
He's
happening, my brother. A lot's happening, and a big shout out whilst you're getting up that graphic.
it's actually very
Waj,
complicated.
Waj, my brother, my friend, who has I always give him a bit of stick that you don't watch our shows, but he just sent me a message as well, watching it in bed. He's got it on the big screen. So big up to Waj. Hopefully see you soon, man. Right, yo, just bear with me. Wirtz ranks second in Europe for offensive duels won in the top 5 leagues. This guy's going to win a lot of balls, Sarib. He's going to win a lot of balls.
There we go.
There's another super chat from Kelly. Thank you very much for your super chat. Happy with Wirtz. Happier to see Sarib back. What a lovely message. Nice
Thank
message,
you,
man.
I've got
Ash. Okay. Ash, any truth on Thomas Araujo? What you think, Asim? When these rumors came out, Ash, I asked around, and I've not heard anything personally personally myself. I don't want to shit on other people's news and stuff like that. They might have heard something, but personally speaking, I've not heard anything about that lad. And I don't think he probably comes in now because we've got Frimpong and Bradley there. Where would this guy fit in?
He plays centre back though. Can't play centre back.
Yeah, maybe. Good shout. Okay, let's move on. LFCR786. Thank you very much, brother, for your super chat. Really think we should go for a Awanieri. Has 1 year left and is the perfect more backup and successor, in my opinion. In 2 years' time, when more goals, he has a clear pathway. He's an unbelievable talent. Whenever I've seen Awanieri play, he can take a player on, but I do think that his long-term position, he's raw. Obviously, look at the age, and he's an unbelievable talent. But I think, Sarib, that this guy might be a number 10 rather than a winger.
Yeah.
He receives back to goal. He can and he will do some shifts out there. But I think to add creativity from that number 10 position, Arsenal might look to play Odegaard a bit deeper. Maybe make him play, the Bernardo Silva role a bit, and make Awanieri come as the number 10, and then maybe I wouldn't move Saka from that position. He's one of the best in the world in my eyes. That's how highly I rate Saka. But Awanieri, I think his long-term position might be number 10. Who knows? Let's see how he develops. But thank you very much for his super chat. Yuka, thank you very much. Can Liverpool dominate the Premier League with years to come, Sarib? Our competitors appear to be behind us in terms of financial structures and play style. A bit optimistic. I don't think that's optimistic. Why can't we dominate the Premier League? Especially when you consider how we're acting in the transfer market at the moment. We can. Obviously, other teams will strengthen, and let's see what happens. But we pissed the league, Sarib, this season. And you can talk about City's problems, but I don't think we get the City back. That City back. No. Because one thing what I would say about City, Sarib, is they haven't got their recruitment right in recent times.
Yeah, you look at the team they used to have with Sane, Sterling, but even Bernardo Silva, Mahrez. It was a fearful team, Asim. But when I look at City now, they come up against them. You look at Bar Haaland, who Virgil van Dijk deals with quite well. Savinho and Doku against Trent. They don't really players that strike fear into me. Like I used to watch, I don't know if you remember Asim, I used to watch Leroy Sane, prime Leroy Sane. He used to give me shivers. I used to watch him against our team. He used to give me shivers. I've never feared a player. Hazard and him were the worst. Every time Liverpool would play against Chelsea or Man City, I always was fearful of Hazard and Sane. But let's stick to City. I don't see that anymore with City. They're Grealish, Savinho is a good player. He's raw. Yeah. Doku, he's also very, very raw. But there's nobody I really look at and go, yeah, this guy is a real killer. But I'm sure Guardiola feels that about Mo Salah, Mane. There's that famous quote in the documentary where they're halftime at the Etihad. Those three scare me: Salah, Mane, Firmino. I don't feel that for City. I don't feel that for City. I think with Arsenal, with Saka, you might feel that to an extent. But you look around down the Premier League, there's not really many of those players anymore. And I don't think we get that City back. And obviously, they are a club, Asim. They're just throwing money at the problem. They're already looking at Reinders and Gibbs White and Marmoush, and they've already signed Marmoush in January and Gonzalez. They can easily throw money at the problem. But their recruitment hasn't gone right, and I think we are benefiting off that. And the league title was there to show for it.
100%. A few more super chats. Delvin Jones, thank you very much for sending that through. I have a feeling Liverpool may possibly go after Julian Alvarez or Isak for the centre forward position. Which one, lads, do you think better fit for Slot system? I'd say Alvarez.
You think?
No, that's what Delvin.
Oh, okay.
That's what Delvin finished off with.
Oh, you
I
think?
think
You
if
think?
you've got the creativity of, what do you call it, Salah. If you've got the creativity of Wirtz, I'd go for Isak over Alvarez because I think there's enough creativity there. I see where look. I love Alvarez. I really do. He's got a bit more into, no, I won't say a bit more to his game. He's played that off that striker role as well. He played off Haaland, didn't he, as well? And he can come, he can fight. But I think Isak would guarantee you 30 goals a season.
Definitely.
Alvarez, a lot of people are saying, look, he's got the shit. He can roll his sleeves up. He's a good footballer. He's good mates with McAllister as well.
That
But
helps.
and he can be that facilitator. But I think you're
Yeah,
underestimating what Isak can do as well. How many times have we seen for Newcastle, Isak just go to the left and take a few players on and assist a goal? So don't underestimate Isak's ability to come deep and connect play as well. But is there a worry about his injury? There was talk about him going, doing his groining and sorting that out this summer. Maybe Liverpool look at that and there is a concern, but I'd take anyone. If any one of them to come through the doors as well, Sarib, I don't
yeah.
know what's going to happen to Liverpool fans.
I mean, as some people say about Isak's injury problems this season, he's played 33 this season. It's more than Jota. It's already an upgrade. It's more than Jota. He's made more starts in the Premier League this season than Darwin Núñez, and he scored 23 goals in 33 games this season. Last season, I understand you might have your injury problems and he only played 30. Even last season, though, he missed 8 games, which is relatively is quite high. But with Liverpool's quality in attack, if he misses the odd game or two, Asim, I don't think that's a massive problem. Everyone speaks about Isak's injury problems, but he's a guy that guarantees you 21 last season in the Premier League, 23 this season. The year before that, he got 10. But that was the only year, his first year, where he played only 22 games. 30 games and 30 games last season and 33 this season is enough for me. Is enough. It's more than enough.
Who do you bring then? Give me one name.
I think when you're looking at it in terms of who fits the system better, in terms of who can drop a bit deeper and who can play the passes in behind, I don't
Give
think
me
that's
one name.
when people sit on the fence now, you don't like it. But yeah, it's Isak. It's quite obviously Isak, and
Really?
I think Isak's.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I won't
Isak's.
give a shit. I won't give a shit. Honestly, I won't give
I'm
a shit.
either or. To be honest, I'm either or. But I think Isak's the one we all want.
Big shout out to Ben. I chat to him on a personal level as well. He's in the chat. What time is it in Dubai, Ben? Bloody hell,
Dubai.
he can't sleep. He's probably excited. Big, and you know what? I've not met many optimistic fans that are all in than Ben. Big up and really nice to see
you haven't met Cheen then.
No, he's like Gene. He's like Gene, and he's been telling me we're gonna
Another
sign
Cheen. Please stay away from me. Stay away from me. I don't want to have more problems.
And he's been telling me for ages, we're going to sign this guy, Asim. We're going to sign this guy. And you know what? He kept my optimism right up to the highest level. So big up to Ben, man. Question for you, lads. How do you think Trent feels now? What has he done? The stupid, he's fucked up him.
No.
I'm
not going to.
I was discussing this in my last show, Sarib. I saw that little clip in Brighton. Maybe it was part of him was saying that I've contributed so much to this club. I won everything here and I didn't expect this. But what did you expect? And I think Liverpool fans have made it about Liverpool Football Club and enjoying and celebrating the title. And they might not boo him in the last game. I don't think it's going to be as bad as, there might be a few, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as the Arsenal game. But Liverpool are making it about Liverpool and the fans are making it about Liverpool. And I think he's regretting it as well. Because when he goes there, Sarib, look, yeah, he's made the move, and let's see how well he does. But the support that he has received from Liverpool over the years, he's not going to get an ounce of that over at Madrid, Sarib. Because when you start doing performing to the levels that you should, well, when you perform there, you'll get all the
Yeah,
the
I think
applaudits.
I think
When the
honestly,
moment you don't, then it's chutti.
and it's nice shit. I think Arne Slot alluded to that literally in his press conference today, when he spoke about his attitude in training has been a bit poor. I've always told him he's a better defender, and that's very very better defender than what he is and what people make him out to be. But he's had many games us in this season where he's kind of been a bit lethargic, and people saying that it's not down to Madrid. But you look at it now. But look, I want to get my take on this because obviously I haven't been on the channel for me to give my opinion on this. But look, I'm not the type of guy that's going to sit there and boo Trent Alexander-Arnold. But do I agree with his actions? Absolutely not. I'm not a player. I'm not a player. Sorry, I'm not a fan that will sit there and boo a player when he's wearing the red shirt. Now, that's not me saying that the Liverpool fans that are booing Trent Alexander-Arnold are incorrect for booing that. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean it's an opinion. People are going to have different opinions whether you agree or disagree, and I'm okay with that. We live in a world where people are going to say yes or no on different things, and that's fine. When Trent came on against Arsenal, I watched it from my living room. I didn't say anything. I didn't clap. I didn't boo because
Did you get up
you
and
can't.
clap him?
No, I know I did say I'd clap him off. He's going to Real Madrid, and that was me kind of speaking about the player and the time he's given us. And yes, for that reason, I think he does deserve applause for that reason. Let me finish before anyone has a go at me. But I think the way he's handled this whole situation, him running his contract down, him speaking to Madrid, kind of taints that because he's not going to get the applause from me that he might have got if he kind of told Liverpool, I want to leave and then leave a bit more properly without just leaving us in the wake for a long time. And look, I have no issue with anyone booing him. Absolutely not. I think Robertson's come out, Van Dijk's come out, Slot's come out. You can't tell anyone how to feel about a situation when you are not them. And that is the truth in anything. Yeah, and Klopp's even come out saying, "Oh, you shouldn't boo Trent Alexander-Arnold because it's not really what we do." But again, even with Klopp, that's his opinion. Whether you agree with his opinion or not is a different story. When people are calling him a rat and this and that, I'm not that type of guy. Am I happy with him? No. And that clip against Brighton, I think there was a sense where he was probably looking at Liverpool fans saying, "This is no." I think it was more that this is my last away game. This is my last away game for Liverpool Football Club. This is the last time I'm going to experience an away crowd. I'm actually kind of, leaving here. It's kind of sinking in here. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to boo Trent Alexander-Arnold. Am I gonna clap him off? Probably not. I don't know. I can't really tell you how I'm going to feel when it comes down to it. But I have not booed him, and I'm not going to boo him because for me, he's given me some of the best moments in a Liverpool shirt. I don't think you can just forget those things, But again, you also can't forget how he acted. And people are saying I'm talking a lot. It's because I didn't actually give my opinion on this. But yeah, look, each to their own. I don't think he handled things correctly, but it's just the type of fan I am, Asim. I'm supportive until the day you give me a reason not to. And he has given me a reason not to support him. But doesn't mean I'm going to turn around and put my middle finger up at him. I'm just not that type of guy.
Okay, I think we've spent too much time on Trent. Anyway, it's about Liverpool's celebration. Ali asks if we've seen Jurgen Klopp's comments. I've not seen. I've seen his video, Ali. I've not seen his comments. If he's made any more comments,
he basically said, Asim, when I saw Trent Alexander-Arnold getting booed, I switched the TV off. This is not us. This is not Liverpool. This is not Liverpool.
Oh, is that what he said? Wow.
Yeah, he said I switched the TV off. This is not Liverpool. And that's what I was alluding to. So everyone can have their opinion on him, and obviously,
yeah, I think
it's everyone's gonna have their opinion on this, Asim. And I'm sure
Mm.
you've given your opinions. I've seen what you think of it, and I've seen what Avi thinks of it. I've seen what Sheen thinks of it.
Okay,
Call him,
interesting.
but we shouldn't care about Trent. Why should we care about him anymore? He's not our player anymore. He's not going to be a Liverpool player next season. We're moving forward. I think that's why Arne Slot last press conference got that little dig in. He got that. He's always said Trent's a great defender. His attitude is very very good. But the last press conference, I saw it. He left his foot in a bit. Arne Slot. He left a little challenge in there.
He did. He did. Okay, I think that's the wrap, Sarib. We've still got over 700 people watching. We're nearly reaching midnight, but we're back again. We're back again. It's going to be an early one tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be a live one, 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got Sasha coming on. He can only do it in the morning, but I wanted to bring him on BNR ASAP and talk more on Wirtz. So maybe we get a really early bomber. So tomorrow morning. So there's one more comment. Slot's comments at Arteta were priceless. So yeah, I'm gonna bring Sasha on tomorrow morning. We've not decided if it's gonna be a live show. Should it be a live show at 10 o'clock in the morning, or shall we do it as a pre-recorded and then just put it up? Let me see what the chat say.
Guys,
Do you want it? Do you want it live at 10 o'clock in the morning, UK time? Or do you want us to do a pre-recorded? I prefer lives. We might not have a lot. I don't know. Rumi says live. Raza says live.
Are you not going to be up for lives?
Live, James. Okay, you guys better be up.
I guess
put your alarms on for 9:45. We were live at 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Archie, big up Archie, man. He's my badminton partner. Big up Archie, man. Big, massive Liverpool fan. And my partner on Wednesday and Thursday nights, he asked me earlier when the show is, and really nice to see him.
How honestly, before you go, how do you know so many Liverpool fans? From where I live, I know I live quite far away, but from where I live, I probably know about 3. It seems like everyone that comes, everyone that you know is a Liverpool fan, bar your cousin and the referee. I don't know his name. Sorry, I forgot his name. Abid. Sorry, Abid.
The thing is, where we're from, our generation is either Man United or Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then after the noughties, you got the Arsenal, the invincible generation, like my nephews. And then after that, it's like Chelsea. No, we don't have any Chelsea. I think 1 or 2 in the community. And Keighley, where we're from, is a really tight-knit, small town. So everyone knows each other. So
I think London's different. They all support different teams. You've got Man United, they've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, you've got all sorts there. I think I'm from London, if you didn't know.
Yeah, you're from London, isn't it? That's the thing. So you
get
plenty of Arsenal. Okay, that's the wrap, people. Oh, super chat, Ali. Thank you very much for reminding me. One more. Howder88, thank you very much. Wait 5 minutes. Indie Bomber at midnight. Shall I message Indians? Tell him bloody hurry up. 5 minutes. As he said, he's going to come out with something.
I didn't see it, to be honest.
Cadence is live.
Yeah, he did. He said midnight update. He did say midnight update. # LFC. He did tweet.
Knowing Indy, he's going to be 10-15 minutes late, man. Midnight. I think we're going to call it a wrap. But we'll catch you in the morning. So big up. I'm just going to quickly check if you've not missed any super chat. No. So we'll catch you at the 10 o'clock. And then we probably go live with Avi and Gene and maybe Jake as well. And I need a break. I need a break after the Sasha one. I feel like I've been going live every day, 3 times a day. But
no one said content creation was easy, son. No one said it was easy.
It's a proper grind. Dame Shag, I need a cup of tea. And I've got a guest from Morocco, believe it or not, that is waiting for me. Honestly. And I think Hassan's been messaging me saying we're waiting for you as well. So I'm not chatting rubbish. So please let me go. And we catch you tomorrow morning. Take care and good night. Bye-bye for now.